Hello everyone! So I'm really excited to show my Romania album. So this took me a whole month and I definitely didn't rush it, but I was really focusing on it because I really wanted to get it done before I went to Japan, so that I didn't have like a little bit of a project to come back to and all my stuff will be put away, and when I get back I can start fresh with another one, rather than have like a month break and sort of lose where I was. And yeah, I just really wanted to get it done. So that's been my focus the last couple of days. Like I haven't read any of my book and haven't done anything else. So yeah, I'm glad I've got it done and I'm really glad how it's come out. It is very, very chunky. I think I ripped out 4 pages, but the rest is taken up. It was a really big trip, to be fair. It was a week trip and we did do something every day, and like a big thing every day. It wasn't like we had a chill day or anything like that. Like we were doing things all the time. So yeah, it was just a big trip. The only thing I haven't done a front cover, so I will be doing that. And I haven't done some journaling at the back. But I needed to film this video because this is the last morning of daylight I have before I go away. So yeah, so obviously I've shown all the bits and pieces that I used, all the Halloween products and stuff. There's just some other little bits that I definitely forgot to show, like my little sequins. I used a load of little different plastic sort of sequins throughout the album. And I don't think I showed something else. I can't think what it was now, but I'm sure I'll see it in the video. But I used up loads of washi tape, I used up loads of paper, and I used up all of my Halloween stickers. So I really need to get some more for next year. But yeah, really love how it's come out. So this was Romania last year. So we went in October, we went early October, and we actually flew from Stansted, which is not near us, but the flights were much better and cheaper. So we flew from Stansted, so we actually flew very early morning. Our flight was at 5 to 6 in the morning, so that's very early. We stayed over at the the Radisson. It actually had a really good deal. We don't normally stay in the Radisson, it's normally too expensive, but they had a good deal. And we booked this trip semi last minute, probably about a month in advance, because for us that's very last minute. So for probably a bit longer than that, maybe about 2 months in advance. But still, that's very short notice for us. We tend to book our holidays quite, almost like a year. So I was trying to see what the best way to do this trip was, whether it was a tour or if it was to hire a car or just to use public transport. We did end up going with public transport because it was so much cheaper, and I'm so glad we did it how we did it, because it was a adventure. So yeah, really enjoyed it. So yeah, just us, well, the lovely view of us flying. And then we got into Bucharest. We flew into Bucharest and got the train into the centre. This is just our little ticket here. I did photocopy this because I knew it was going to fade. It was already sort of fading anyway because it was very faint to begin with. And then we went straight to Bucharest main station and caught a train up to Sinaia. So we weren't actually staying in Bucharest that day. We were going straight up north, I think it is. But yeah, we were really excited to start looking at all the different castles, and because it's October, it was obviously autumn, and yeah, just a really nice time to go. It was still very warm in Bucharest, but as we got into the mountains, it was a lot cooler. So I did wear my coat and things, but Bucharest was really warm. So we took the train, as I said, to Sinaia. This is our ticket. So I booked the tickets in advance because I wasn't sure how full they get, and they do get full. So if you are going, I'd recommend booking your trains. They're all like old style sort of carriages. So you sit inside a carriage, it's got like 3 seats either side. Imagine like a Harry Potter train, that's sort of what it is. They have carriages with seats inside, and we had our book seats and it was full. So yeah, I would recommend it. We did actually move our trains because we were there earlier than we expected, and we actually managed to get on this one. There wasn't many seats at all, but we managed to get on there. The train that we were getting on wasn't available anymore because that was fully booked. So yeah, we were just lucky to get onto this one and save us waiting around for a while. This is just the front of the train. It's Joe looking down the carriages of the train, us on the platform, and then Joe watching his film whilst we was on the train as well. So it took an hour and 20 minutes to get from Bucharest to Sinaia, and the train was really comfortable. And yeah, it was a really nice journey. So then I think we actually went first class. I was just like trying to look at this ticket. Oh no, we went second class. We went second class. For some reason I thought we went first class, but I was thinking I don't remember going first class. So then we arrived in Sinaia, and we were staying in this really cool like villa. They don't have like hotels. Well, they do, but they're not like massive like skyscrapers or really posh hotels or anything like that. They're all sort of like home renovation B&B sort of things, but they're really cool, and the buildings in Sinaia are incredible, and it's all mountainous, and we made the wrong decision to decide to trek our suitcases up the hills to get to our hotel, and we were absolutely shattered. We had to stop numerous times because trying to lug the hills were literally vertical, and we were trying to lug the suitcase up there. I don't know why we decided not to get an Uber, because we soon realised how cheap the Ubers are. They're like £2-3 for a journey, so we were like, why did we not just get an Uber? But we learnt our lesson on the way back. But yeah, so we stayed in this like villa here. It's called the Retezat villa, and it just had a little bit of information about it, of who built it and everything like that. So that was quite interesting. It said it's linked to the same people that built the Peles Castle, which we go and see later, so you can see why. It was very, very ornate. It was really, really pretty. And then obviously this was just us on the train in Sinaia train station. So this was like the inside of our hotel. So it was, as I said, it was very ornate, very decorative, very gothic. It had like wooden beam ceilings and very nice sort of furniture. Had really cool sort of stained glass windows and big staircases. There's only about 4 or 5 rooms. Our room was very basic. As you can see, there was just one sort of bed and a table in a corner with a TV on, and the bathroom was just very simple, but it was cheap and it definitely served a purpose. It was in a really nice area, and we got a really lovely view of the mountains from our balcony. So yeah, we was only there for one night. And these are just some pictures of the local area. We sort of checked in our bags and just sort of got comfortable before going out for a bit of a walk. There was these lovely dogs that were just roaming around the area. They were obviously owned because they kept going back to the same place, but as soon as like a car or a person came past, they were down trying to chase the car or come and greet the person. So this is Joe just playing with the dogs. But the scenery was just lovely, and I loved all the houses, and obviously the leaves were starting to change as well. We did actually get breakfast included, which was interesting. I'm not a egg person. I don't really like eggs at all. I've never really grown to them. So basically we sat down and just gave us a plate of eggs, and I was like, right, well, I'm not sure where to start here. And then they gave us some meats and cheeses and some breads, cucumber and tomatoes. For me, which, you know, this is standard in Eastern European countries, but for me, that I don't fancy that in the morning. So I think I just had some bread with some cheese and some cucumber. Joe ate my eggs for me. So yeah, it's just one of those things. That's just sort of breakfast that you get in Eastern European countries. Then these are just some more pictures of Sinaia. So we did just have a wander around. The streets were lovely. It was very, very quiet. I don't think many people actually stay over in Sinaia. I feel like people just take a tour or a train day trip to the town just to see Peles Castle and then go home again, because it was just so quiet, especially in the evening. We went out for some food, and it was just, yeah, it was just really, really quiet, but it was so just, I loved it. It felt a bit like a ski resort, really. And I think in the winter, I think they do some sort of skiing around the area, but it was so nice. It was probably one of my favourite places. I really loved it. I'm just so glad we actually got to experience it. Then these are just this is a big map of obviously Sinaia, and also just this really cool building that was near this fountain. So I just sort of marked on where we went in Sinaia. We were literally only there for like 24 hours, but we managed to see pretty much everything. So this is where we stayed. This was the train station sort of area. This was the monastery, and then this was Peles Castle. We obviously did some other bits and pieces around here, but they were the big monuments that were on the map. And to use up my alpha stickers, I did actually use like the beginning of the sentence with an alpha sticker. And this was just to try and use it up. So it's quite a good way of using them, actually, to be fair. Random letters. The only thing that gets me is that I realise when I'm trying to write, I'm like, well, I always start the sentence with the or we or I. So it just, you always end up using the same ones. So you just got to be a bit more experimentative with how you start your sentences. So just some more pictures of the really lovely houses of Sinaia. I just love this sort of wooden beam effect with the trees, and we were walking down this really nice street. We walked a lot in Romania. We definitely could have got the bus, it was cheap enough too, but we just ended up walking. It was just a nice sort of temperature, and it was sunny. So this was the food that we had. We had a place called Bruma in the town centre, and as I said, the leaves were changing, so I just loved all the colours, and I love the red leaves. And I love this cat. This cat was just watching us from the side of the road, and he was adorable. He reminds me of my parents' cat, Fred. So I just included him. So then the first full day we were there, so we woke up after, you know, getting to Sinaia, having a wander around, went to bed, and then the next day we went to Peles Castle, which is the reason why we was in Sinaia, and it was absolutely incredible. It's so impressive, this castle, and I just highly recommend it to anyone. I think it always sometimes gets forgotten about because of Bran Castle. Like Peles Castle is more beautiful, I'd say, and more impressive than Bran Castle, but it just doesn't have the association with Dracula or anything, so people sometimes forget about it. But I actually preferred this castle, and yeah, it was beautiful inside and out, and as you can see, I took so many photos of it as we were wandering around, and also you could see like the spire through the trees and everything. So yeah, it was really, really impressive. I did book our tickets in advance, but you can just wander up, but there was a little bit of a queue, and there was a lot of tour groups. As I said, I feel like people go for the day as a tour to go and see the castle. So I would personally book things in advance just to make sure you're definitely going to get in. We were there sort of October and midweek, so it wasn't like peak time, but I imagine in the summer months and around Halloween, I imagine it gets quite busy. So just some more pictures. I took so many pictures of Peles Castle when I was going through this. I was like, when do these end? But they're just so nice with all the different styles from different angles, the doors, and even like the garden areas were just lovely. And so we had really good weather. When we came out, it looked a bit stormy, but it actually was fine. But yeah, just got pictures of nice areas, and I did buy obviously some postcards and stuff. So I got this bag, so you can see the little bit where the glue marks have been, but you can see the main sort of outline of the Peles Museum Castle. So this is inside. As I said, it was just as pretty. So it's like a little courtyard that you go in once you sort of bought your tickets, and then you sort of queue to go round into it. But yeah, it was just, everything about it was just amazing. And we're not museum people at all, really. We hardly ever go to museums unless it's to do with something. We're not like an art museum sort of couple, but I really sort of appreciated the Gothic sort of architecture and the, you know, the paintings and all the just everything that it had in there, to be fair. I just really liked it. It was quite dark, it was quite hard to get some photos, but I took as many as I possibly could. But yeah, it just, when I was going through there, I was thinking this suits my spooky vibe for October so much. I'm looking forward to doing this album, so I was really happy to be able to do this album, and it definitely tops it off that I got to do it in October. It may be a year late, but better late than never. So these were just some more pictures of the rooms, and you see they're quite dark. But they had really nice chandeliers and these stained glass windows, and I loved like these candle sticks and everything. It was just so amazing. So we went into quite a few different rooms. Some of them you could walk through, some of them you had to see from like the entryway. This was like a big mirror that Joe and I took a picture of ourselves in there, but you can see like the big tour group behind us, so we were sort of just waiting for those to go. You get given audio guides, so you sort of work your way through and press the button when you get to a certain point, which is really good. So yeah, we enjoyed that. And just some last pictures of it before we were leaving. So yeah, the chandeliers were so cool. They're all different coloured glass. The mirrors, there was like a secret bookcase, and just like red roses all outside the castle as well. So yeah, really, really pretty. We had a drink when we left. We went to this little cafe that was opposite it, and we had a hot chocolate, and Joe had a Coke, but it was just nice to sit down and just see the castle from the other side. And then to come away from the castle, rather than going back the sort of way you came, you could walk down this like forest area. It had all like souvenir shops and bits and pieces. We didn't buy anything, but it was nice to wander through the little streets. And this is just a chocolate bar. I love picking up sort of sweets and treats and stuff that you can't get in the UK. So this one was cool because obviously it was like a Romanian flag one, and it was really nice. It was really nice, so I put that in there. And just before we completely left the area, we went to Peles Castle, but we didn't go inside. We just, I think it was closed actually. We just went outside and sort of appreciated it from the outside, but it was just as impressive, but it was just a lot smaller. But yeah, you can go inside that one as well. It just has a much shorter opening times. And as I said, I don't know if it was even open when we went, but yeah, it was just really pretty to get some pictures of that. And then we did actually have some more time. I don't know, I think I expected to be rushed around, but we actually had a load of time left over. So we did actually walk to the gondola to go up to the top to see the views. And I'm so glad we did. It was one of those sort of random last minute decisions. I think it was 80 Romanian lei to get up there, which is still quite cheap to be fair. But yeah, we ended up walking there. It was a bit of a trek, but we had fun. We could have got the bus, but I think they were only 1 hour. So we thought, right, we might as well just walk. But yeah, so these are the cable car. We got on one by ourselves, which is always nice, so you can get some photos, and the views of the mountains were lovely, and obviously these were our tickets. Then when we got up there, we just had a wander around and saw the views. We actually got some crepes, so we both got chocolate crepes because it was a bit chilly and we hadn't had the like proper eaten, so we thought we'd get some crepes while we were up there, which was always fun. And we weren't up there long, and you could actually go higher if you wanted to, but we weren't really that fussed about it. We were happy where we were, and so yeah, we just went up to the sort of middle level, had a look around, got some viewpoints. There were some walks you could have done, but as I said, we didn't really have that much time, so we just went up there for the views, then came back down. We then walked to the monastery. It's free to go, and it was just, again, really, really impressive. The architecture in Romania is amazing, and everything about it I just loved. I think it's so forgotten about. I think everyone just goes for like Dracula and everything like that, but actually it's just a really lovely place. Romania and Poland are some of my favourite places in Europe. So I just think the people are so friendly, and I think it's so underrated, and the places are beautiful. So yeah, I'd highly recommend Romania to anyone. So yeah, just had a wander around the monastery, got some really nice pictures. It had like an indoor-outdoor area. You can either go inside. I don't know if there was something going on. There was just a lot of people that obviously worked there, milling about, so I didn't want to sort of go in too many places in case I was disturbing something, but we just got some really nice pictures of the different areas, and I loved all the artwork around the doors, and the flowers were just so pretty outside. And these are just some of the courtyards, so they were like tending to their rose gardens, and yeah, it was just really pretty grounds. It was very peaceful, and again, there wasn't that many people there, so we sort of had it to ourselves for a bit, which was nice. So then after Sinaia, we were heading to Brasov, which we were very excited about, because obviously that was all about Dracula and everything like that, so we were very excited, and obviously that's like Transylvania country. So we got on the train. We actually, again, rebooked our train. It was only about £2 to change it again. So we weren't too fussed about paying £2. But we booked onto the 4:45 train, and we got in an hour later. So it was only an hour this time to get further up to Brasov. So we got on these trains here. Again, the post at the station, and a postcard from Sinaia. But Brasov, as I said, was one of the key places that we wanted to go, because obviously it's Transylvania, and it has all the association with Dracula, and obviously Bran Castle and everything like that. So yeah, we're really excited. We stayed in a really nice hotel called the Draken House. It was a bit of a last minute booking again, because our one that we did book cancelled on us, so we had to rebook and book into this one, which I wasn't sad about. This was next on my list, so I was quite happy to go into this one. And it was just really cool because it had these big gates, and it had the emblem of the hotel and stuff, and the room was really nice. We gradually got better rooms as we got into the trip. Our hotel in Bucharest was really nice, so yeah, no, it was really good, and it was really central. It had everything that we needed, and this is just a map. Actually, it's upside down because obviously I had to stick it in the right way around. But I actually had to look around reception for that. They didn't have them out on display. It was only because when we put our luggage into store, I saw them on the side, and I asked if I could have one. So yeah, I'm glad I got that. So as we arrived a little bit late, we just sort of headed out and got something quick to eat. Joe got these chip things from this place here. But this was cool. This was a view from our window, but they've lit up their windows in the Romanian flag colours, which I thought was cool. And one of the cool things about Brasov is they actually have like a Hollywood sign with Brasov at the top of the hill as well. So that overlooks the town. So we do go up there eventually. But yeah, it was really cool to see that. And we could see it. This is like the courtyard inside our hotel. So we had to go up the stairs to our room. So we saw it every time we came downstairs. But yeah, so I got these chimney cake, but it was like cut up, which was really good. So rather than it be quite messy, it was quite easy to eat with the 2 forks and stuff. So again, I just got chocolate, but I love chimney cakes, and again, that's quite Eastern European. So I always tend to get one, but it was from the Transylvania bakery, which I thought was really cool. And I did buy this map. It was a really nice little stationery shop. It was obviously like it wasn't a chain or anything like that. It was someone's like little business, and they had these really cool like green printed maps of Brasov. So I decided to buy this one. So I thought that was really cool because it is like a gated sort of town. And so yeah, I just thought it was really nice, and she gave me a free sticker. So this is the view from the day as one of the streets, and you can see the Brasov sign in the hill was up there as well. So yeah, it was a really, really pretty town. The weather was a little bit cloudy today, but it was still fine. It wasn't raining or anything. But yeah, I just loved the town because it was all very colourful buildings, and they had like a big square that sort of led off into all different directions. So there was loads of things to sort of see and do. But there was just so many people. It was so lively compared to Sinaia. But they had all the outdoor seatings and stuff like that. So yeah, it was, I think we went around the weekend sort of time. So obviously a lot of families and things were there for the weekend. So it was quite busy. But this is actually the sort of, I don't know, sign for the for Brasov. You see it everywhere. They're quite proud of it. So obviously it's there and on this, and then there's loads more. So it's like obviously like the emblem as such. But yeah, this is just the old town as we were wandering through. And then this is just another little map of Brasov. So this is our hotel here. So obviously this is the map that the hotel gave us. But yeah, it just has bits and pieces. So like the black church and the square. We went to the white church, white tower. And then up here was the cable car to go up to the Brasov sign. And we just walked all around here. We actually walked down here as well. So yeah, we had a really good sort of time in Brasov. Again, the emblem. So these are just some pictures of the black church. So did we go up? I'm trying to think if we did. No, we didn't go up. You could go up to the top of the tower, but I don't think we did. I can't think why we didn't. But you could buy tickets and stuff, but I think we just decided not to. So, which is unheard for us. Normally we always climb a tower when we're on holiday. But yeah, it's just some more pictures of me in the town square. And I just love this picture of like the lampposts and the buildings, and obviously the Brasov sign. And you can see the little sort of hole, I suppose, for the cable car to go up to. Again, some more pictures just of the local area. It was just, yeah, we just really liked it. As I said, it was really busy and there's always something going on. There was street performers and all sorts going on, so it was just nice to wander. So we did have some food. We ate in the town square. We ate like this burger restaurant. Joe had some ribs, I had a burger. This was actually the view from another angle of the black church, which I thought was quite nice. You could see the town. And then obviously this was this big building. I was trying to be on the search for a post box and a stamp, so I ended up going to the little post box area to try and find a post box basically, and I stumbled across this building, and yeah, I thought it was really nice. So some of the random little bits, we went out for dinner another day and we had this Italian food, which was really nice. That's just a business card for that. That was the free sticker that I got given when I bought that map. And then as we were just wandering around, we ended up going down to this street, this Strada Sofori, and it's Brasov's narrowest street. And in our experience, it wasn't that narrow. We've definitely been down more narrow streets than that, but we just liked it because it had a load of graffiti, so it was quite interesting to wander down it. So we just thought, and it was on one of the top things to do whilst in Brasov, so we thought we had to go down there. And then we did go to the White Tower. So we actually had a little bit of time. So we just sat in the sun just by the river on some benches. And then I noticed a big sign to say like the White Tower to go, you need to go up. And I said to Joe, like, do you want to go up there? And he wasn't that fussed for it. So I said, okay, I'll go. So it didn't have to cost anything or anything like that. But I really underestimated how many steps there were. And when I saw the steps and I just kept going up there, I thought, I don't feel very well, and I thought I was going to faint, and I didn't have Joan with me either, so I had to just sort of sit down for a little bit. But yeah, I really sort of, I think I've said before, when I go up to things on my own, I think I'm in a rush, so I end up really running up the stairs, and I've got low blood pressure, so I need to be careful, so I had to sit down for a little bit. But it was a really nice view, so I got this view once I sort of calmed down. I got this really nice view of the town from the other side, and as I said, we do go up to the Brasov sign to look the other side as well, so that was fun. And I just love this postcard that I got from the Tourist Information Centre. But yeah, this is the White Tower that I walked up to. So yeah, we did take the cable car, and the cable car was really cool because it was like an old style one, and obviously it was sponsored by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is everywhere in Romania, like it's sponsored on everything. You'll see it in Bucharest as well. Oh, my little cobwebs just flew off. But yeah, so it's a really, really pretty cable car to go up on because you can literally see everything as you're going up. So yeah, we just booked our tickets here. We just queued. It wasn't like a really long queue. And yeah, we went up. We actually walked back down, which was nice. But yeah, this is the views you get. So a lot higher than where I was here. But yeah, you got some really good views because Brasov is really flat. So the view just kept going and going and going. But some nice person took a picture of us as we was up there. But yeah, I'm glad we got like a really clear day to go with the top. And these are just some pictures of us behind the Brasov sign itself. So behind the big B and obviously behind the signs, which was quite cool. And this was just us walking back down. So it was really nice, sort of easy walk, and every so often the cable car came above you and things, so that was fun. And I just stuck this in because this is like the map of all the different castles. If we had more time, I would have gone to this Razanov. This is meant to be a really nice place. But we obviously did do Brasov and we did Bran Castle, so we did enough. But if we had more time, I would have gone to Razanov. You can do, as I said, a full day tour, which includes Bran Castle and Razanov and things, but we just decided to take public transport. So then this is Bran Castle. So we had a day put aside to go to Bran Castle, and we decided to go by public transport. There's only a bus every hour, so you just have to be careful about that. And it really isn't that well organised and well advertised. You think for such a big attraction they'd have like a specialised bus that, you know, was really obvious to spot. But we got to the bus station and there was nothing there and there was no one there. So we was thinking it's either just left or like people are expecting it to be late, because we was there literally like 5 minutes before. We weren't around long. But then all of a sudden random people just started turning up. And then this bus came and it had the tiniest signs in the window and it said it was going to Bran. So we was like, is this it? It didn't have a number or anything. But we bought tickets from the driver and they were 13 lei for one person return, which is really, really cheap. So I think that's literally like a couple of pounds, like £1.80 or something. Might be a little bit more, but still it was very, very cheap compared to like £60-70 for a tour. So I would recommend the bus. You just need to be a bit, don't be rushed for time in case you miss one or anything like that. But yeah, so we got a really cool postcard of Bran Castle. And then this was the flag outside Bran Castle as well. So it took about 40 minutes on the bus, but it wasn't an awful journey. It was quite scenic, and yeah, we enjoyed the journey. So obviously you can just go to the town of Bran. There is other things to do in Bran, but obviously we got off near the castle and walked through, and we went straight to the castle because we had pre-booked tickets. You can buy tickets on the door, but getting peak time, you might risk queuing for a bit. So I just thought I'd just book them in advance, and we went straight in. So when you first walk in, they have all like the associations with Dracula and things. So they say like how it's related to Dracula and Bram Stoker and stuff like that. And it's actually like Dracula is sort of semi-based on this guy here who did live in the castle, and this Vlad Tepes, because he was very barbaric in his torture methods and things like that. So yeah, it was really interesting to learn all these bits and pieces. So they had obviously a lot of information about the people that actually lived, like a family that lived in the castle, but then they also had information about Dracula and where all the association came from, and also just like all the things that Dracula's been involved in and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really fun. But I'd say the inside wasn't as impressive as like Peles, because it was just like white walls with just furniture in. It wasn't like very ornate like Peles was. But it had some really cool bits and pieces. So I just got a leaflet here as well about what you can do at Bran Castle. So they had some really cool little rooms and things you could climb up. So this is just us in one of the little stairways. This was our ticket to get in. And then this is the certificate of authenticity for the necklace that was part of the stage property of Dracula, a movie inspired by Bram Stoker's novel. So this was actually like a necklace that they used in one of the films or stage shows, which was cool. And then this is a postcard. I won't open it because it's actually one I sent home, but it's just a postcard of Bran Castle. And then this was probably the most impressive area, and I really like this area. This was just a view from all the balconies that ran round sort of the edge of the castle with the courtyard in the middle. So we took some pictures of each other sort of looking over the balconies. They had like a nice sort of well in the corner as well. And I did get one of the little penny flatting things, can't think what they're called, but it's got a little vampire on there, which I thought was cute. So these are just some more pictures of the courtyard and just the nice sort of building. I loved the turrets and the colours. It's just, the photos just seemed very dark, and I don't know if it was my photo or my camera, sorry, or it was just the area. I just seemed to have a lot of dark photos, which was annoying, but I enjoyed taking all the different photos of the area, of the castles. And then just some more pictures of us with sort of the arches. I thought it was quite nice. Then this page, so in some of the rooms they had just I don't know, information on different sort of like spooky characters. So they had like the Grim Reaper, werewolves, there was ghosts, there were these like, they're called Lele's, I think, but it just says like what they are and where they've come from and stuff like that, and I thought that was quite interesting. You won't be able to read this here, but obviously in person it's a lot easier to read, but like, yeah, it just says about the Grim Reapers, Grim Reaper, where it's come from, and just the stories behind them, which I thought was quite cool, quite nice to learn. And then one thing that I did by myself, actually, because Joe again wasn't that fussed for it, and it did cost extra, I went into this torture chamber room that had all the different ways that people used to torture people back in the day, and they were horrific. You had to be a certain age, I think you had to be 18 in order to buy tickets, but yeah, it just sort of tells you all the different things. So I took pictures of the actual object and then the boards that told you what they were doing to them, but yeah, like picture the wheel, so that's like extremely painful. First phase consisted of fracturing the bones and joints of the accused person by means of a small wheel, calling a fracturing wheel equipped internally with many spikes. So yeah, some of the things were just atrocious. Like you can see this spike here, and obviously that goes upwards. So yeah, it was horrific. It wasn't they didn't hold back. They had like these pictures of people being sawed in half. They had these like spiked chairs, the hand saw. It was just, yeah, the knee splitter, like there was a lot, and I definitely took a lot of photos. I didn't really mean to take that many photos, but everything I sort of took a picture of, and then I'd go and see something else. I thought, well, that's even more horrific. But yeah, I got the racks where people used to lay down, used to stretch them. Got ones that go around people's necks. They've got like this thing, and this is like chastity belts and stuff that used to give women when their husbands were away and stuff like that. So madness. Yeah, it was really quite shocking actually. Again, there wasn't that many people in there because you had to pay a bit extra, but it was very interesting. I was really interested by it, but it was quite horrific to hear about these different things. So yeah, like the throne and this thing, the garrote, strangulation and all sorts. So yeah, it was quite graphic. But yeah, so then once we finished with Bran Castle, we just went outside and had a walk around the grounds, and you got some nice pictures of the castle from the outside. This was a bag that obviously I got from when I was in the souvenir shop. Got some bits there. And then some last pictures again of like the cross outside the Dracula's castle, which I thought was quite nice. There's this nice little like pond area, and then Joe got some crepes or something from this little shop, and I just thought it was quite cute because it was called Dracula's Sweet Bite. Just all the shops around there were all obviously Dracula themed. And then I did get these really cute Kinder vampires, which they were quite expensive actually in a just a normal shop, but I just thought I'd never seen them before, and I just thought they were so cool, little vampire Kinders. And Kinder Buenos are my favourite chocolate bar, so yeah, I had to get those for the train journey back. So that was our time in Brasov and Bran. We then got the train later from Brasov back to Bucharest. It took 2.5 hours, but we were actually delayed. This one we went first class. I knew one journey we went first class, but all it was just a bigger seat, which was quite nice actually. It was quite nice to have space, but there really wasn't that much in difference in cost. I'd highly recommend it because it's one of those countries where it's so cheap anyway. You might as well go first class because it's only like an extra tenner or something. So that's what we did. So it's a picture of us on the train. But yeah, our train got delayed by like an hour. No one had a clue what was going on. The train just never arrived and everyone was a bit lost. And I heard someone say that they'd seen that it had been delayed. So we just had to sit there. But we stayed in a nicer hotel called the Villa Nobel. This was the room here. It was really comfy actually. And yeah, just had a nice little two nights in Bucharest before we were going home. So it was a lot easier to get around Bucharest because they had metros and they had undergrounds and all sorts, compared to the other places where it all just sort of walk in and you're on buses. So it was just a lot easier to get around. So we did actually use the underground. We bought these tickets with like 3-day unlimited passes, so we can get on anything really. So we bought those. But the metros, the above ground trams, were so bumpy. Like they were so, I don't know, everywhere you're getting thrown from left to right. You know, you don't want to stand up because you just didn't want to risk falling over. It was just very, very bumpy, but it was really good. It was really good to get around and just easy to get on public transport compared to, we're not bus people. We'd much prefer to get on a tram or a train. So yeah, just a picture of Joe. We actually went for a random little late night tram ride just to see bits and pieces. We just got on a random train because we had this. We could just get on and off when we wanted to really. So we just went for a random little ride around the city. Then this is just a map. I thought it was quite nice because it had all the different attractions and stuff labelled on it. And I just put some gems on where we went. So this is like the Parliament, got the railway station, got the old town, and then the park. So I thought that was quite nice to include. And then Bucharest town was really nice. It was just as pretty as everywhere else, but the buildings were just more grander. They're so big as well, like you did feel really small in the streets compared to the buildings. But it was just nice to have a wander around. We went through this sort of area that the nightlife looked incredible actually, to be fair. There were so many bars and clubs and stuff like that. I imagine it's really quite lively at night. This is just one of the banknotes that are stuck in, just a one lei. So it's not worth too much money to stick in the book. But yeah, really, really pretty old town. They've got a mixture of really old buildings and really new buildings, so that was quite nice. And I love the river that went through the town. So this is where I'm sort of lacking in journaling. I do need to do some more little bits and pieces as I go through, but as I said, I wanted to get it up whilst I still had daylight. Otherwise I wouldn't get this up until when I get back from Japan. But it is pretty much done. Then we went to the Parliament. So this is the world's heaviest building, and it did look heavy. It weighs 4,098,500 tons, which is 9.4 billion pounds, which is incredible really. So yeah, we went there. It wasn't too busy actually. I thought it'd be really busy, but there was actually some like media vans, like ones with like satellites and stuff outside. So I don't know if something was going to happen. But yeah, we had a look around and just looked at the Parliament. Really, we didn't get too close. You can't go inside or anything like that. But they did have some really nice other little buildings, and I loved the drains. It has like Bucharest and the coat of arms on there as well, which I thought was nice. Then in the middle of the old town, they have these big fountain displays. It's huge, like almost a bit like Vegas huge. Like it just had random fountains. And it was really nice just to wander around. As I said, the weather was really lovely in Bucharest. It was really warm. So we're back in shorts and t-shirts and dresses and stuff. So it was nice just to wander around, see the fountains. And then we went to a really nice monastery, this monastery Stavropolis. Again, it was free to walk around, but I just loved all the arches and these really nice trees just outside. It's just a really nice place. I really recommend Bucharest. And I just think there's so much to do in Romania. You could easily spend longer and do other bits and pieces. But yeah, we had a really, really good time. So yeah, these are some of the really old buildings, and I thought these were incredible. There's some of obviously the newer sort of churches, but the old buildings like this one I loved. As I said, like again, Coca-Cola, like they have all at the top of the buildings and like an old style Coca-Cola down the side. So yeah, just really fun. And then again, I just sort of glue gunned in some currency. So we did actually go past this umbrella street, which I thought was really fun. So we got some pictures there, and I just stuck in one of my postcards of Bucharest. So this is where I haven't done the journaling, but yeah, we were just wandering, and this came up on Google Maps about to go and have a look at. So I thought, right, we'll go and see, and it was really pretty. It's really nice to see all the different colours. And then we did have some food. We had these really nice like kebab wraps, sort of like a gyros, really like a Greek style thing, and they were so good. We actually went back. Well, we wanted to go back the next day to have them again, but they were closed. They were closed on the Sunday or something, so we couldn't go back. But they were really good, and Joe absolutely loved them, so I'm glad we did get there. But Joe had a Romanian beer, and I did have this ice cream from this really nice place, this Gioella, but it was pistachio and Ferrero Rocher, I think, but it was so nice. So as I said, the weather was really nice and warm, so we were happy to have some ice cream. And then we did go to this park. It was actually one of the top things to do in Bucharest, and it was really, really pretty. And again, with the leaves changing and stuff, it was very, very nice. They're really cool benches, again, with the coat of arms with the Bucharest written above it. And there's a really cool clock here, just outside. But I stuck the map in of the park. It was huge. We obviously didn't get to see the whole thing. But we walked around the lake and just got some nice pictures. They have their own Arc de Triomphe in Romania. And they had this like park with all these different heads of famous people, which was a little bit creepy, but it was quite cool. And they had almost like goddesses and stuff underneath, a bit like Greece as well. So yeah, it was really fun. It was a really nice park. And as I said, we walked around the lake, so we just got some nice pictures of the lake, and you see like the city in the background. People were out on like boats and all sorts. So, and again, it was like the weekend, I believe, so a lot of families were out and about and taking the kids out and stuff like that. So it was a really nice atmosphere. I'm glad we went. And then our last day, we actually went to Therme, which is Europe's largest spa, and it's absolutely massive, and it's got so much. I'd highly recommend doing this. A lot of people do like extreme day trips to Therme just from the UK, like they'll get the earliest flight in the morning out and then the late flight back, because Therme is literally 5 minutes down the road from the airport, so you're not like having to trek across the country to get there. So people will just spend the day there and then go back to the airport and come home. But yeah, it was near the airport, but it was a little bit of a trek to get there. We had to get a bus, which we very nearly missed, and we didn't really know where we were going, in all honesty, but we managed to get there, and it was just incredible. They had so many different rooms. They had 3 different like sections as well, so you can pay for different classes, but we paid for the full 3 sections. And yeah, we spent 5 hours there, and we still didn't get to see all the different saunas and steam rooms and different areas, but they had this big sign obviously out the front, and then this was like the front of it here, and this like their logo And then we got given like these wristbands that we would tap to, you know, when we wanted drinks and stuff. We didn't take any money in with us. So you just tap these and they're your lockers as well, which I thought was quite good. And then these are just some pictures of the spa. Obviously I didn't take that many pictures because my phone was in my locker, but it was incredible. Like they had this big, this was like the middle section, and you can get drinks and stuff here. And then you go through like, you know, those like circular doors to, you know, swirly doors to go outside. They had those, but in the water. So you could go outside using the swirly doors. It was just really cool. And obviously it leads you into an outdoor swimming pool that was heated. But they had all these different like mineral pools and everything, like heated lounges. And they did actually have a water park as well, which was cool. So me and Joe actually went on a few different rides. And yeah, it was really, really fun. I'd recommend going. It was something a bit different. And as I said, it's the largest one in Europe. I think they're building one in Manchester actually, so I'll probably go there when it does open. But there was actually like a spa fest thing going on. And I just cut out a few random little things just to say what was actually going on and where and stuff like that. But one thing that did annoy me is I stuck this the wrong way around. This is the French. On the other side, it's the English version. I didn't realise until I'd stuck it down and stuck everything on it. I couldn't rip it back up because it would have just ripped, and it had double-sided sticky tape on the other side, so I couldn't do anything about it. But they just had like all the safety rules and stuff like that you had to sort of adhere by. But yeah, it was really fun. So yeah, that is Romania done. As I said, I just got a little bit of journaling to do, just little bits of tabs and stuff like that I want to put in. But I can do that tonight. But as I said, I wanted to get it up so that I had daylight. And yeah, so I will be back. There will be a bit of a gap now. Whilst I'm away in Japan, and then obviously when I get back I'll need to get all my stuff together for Luxembourg, so there might be a little bit of a gap. And also with my project life I'll be a little bit behind on that, but I will try my best to get as far in advance as I can when I get back. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll be back shortly. Bye.